Hey, Steve Zelenardo here with Remax Experts, Zelenardo Associates. If you watched our videos last week, we are moving offices. We've been in Kleinburg since 2013, so it's been 10 to 11 years in that location. We feel we need a change. Clearly, we saw obviously the building is a lot of elder, internet issues all the time. It also needs a renovation. Let's just say that. So we're going to a new thing right now. Obviously under the same umbrella. It's Remax Experts, and so nice new location, very central, off the 400 on City View. We're even as our business is moving more into the city too, it's going to be a prime location. We always want to be like a 60 to 80 kilometer radius from our office on the business that we do, so that's going to be great. Also, even downtown Kleinburg, the way that the city has treated it, to me, I think it's the hamlet of Vaughan, and they've neglected it. Streetscapes are all broken up. It's just, I don't understand why they would do that to such a beautiful place. When we got there about 10, 11 years ago, it was just something so special. It's almost like when I first got to Estero or our Florida offices, it's just that feeling of just somewhere special, and then just years of lack of maintenance, and it's not a place we want to hang our hat. So this is why we are moving to this new location just east of us. It's literally 10 minutes distance, let's say, east of where we are now, but it's going to be a way better location. It's going to have way better facilities for our clients. We're going to be able to provide better services for our clients. When we do training events, it's going to be better for our clients for sure, because we got a training center now with a full 100-inch screen adaptable to our computers, so we can properly present things. Obviously, when we start doing our Florida presentations, we're not quite there yet. We're still kind of building everything up. We're going to do our presentations there to be great. We can have private, intimate sessions, Q&A about why Florida is important, why you should buy Florida. And that's pretty much it. So that's exciting. So stay tuned for that. We're out of Kleinburg at the end of this month now, so we got like another 8 to 9 days, and then we're out and we're officially into that Woodbridge location. But it's going to be a definite great fresh start. Talking about inventory, current inventory right now, 17,741 units. Last week when we looked into, we were just shy of 17,000. We're at 16,998. And now we're up about 4% in inventory, which is not a big deal. But again, you're starting to see those numbers rise. If you've been watching these things, my Mondays with Steve for a while, you'll see this is like, it almost feels like Groundhog Day for me, because they're almost exactly the same thing at this point. We're going to start shooting up an inventory. This is why we have clients calling. I spoke to a client yesterday, and they, they're adamant on spring, or they want to list in spring, and it's, the real estate market has matured like everything, and timing is not what timings used to be. Like our spring market now is January to March. It's been like that for quite a while, probably 5-6 years. And then like the springtime, it's a hit and miss. You got a ton of inventory dump, but then prices start to scale, start to get lower. You're starting to see more time on the market, unless you got some really great product in a low inventory area. Then obviously that's like a Cinderella story, right? It's a perfect fit. It's the glass slipper. Talking about sold, so last week we had 1,400 sales in 7 days, which was great. It's like 200 a sale. This week we had 1,118 sales, which doesn't, if you look at the number amount, doesn't seem like much, but put it into percentage form, it's literally 20% drop of inventory. We had 79% of the inventory sold compared to the last week. So like we're 21% down on sales, and inventory is up 4%. Obviously that's not a good recipe for anything. I want to shift gears, because the last few years we've been, since 22, when I've been, ringing the bell, like dump properties. Properties didn't make sense. If it was a single family residential investment property that had no upside into it, like a development or something to make it into duplex, triplex, what I was advising, dump those, because you're going to be able to buy them back a lot cheaper. So we did dump a shitload of our inventory at that time. I think it was about $8 million of real estate. But now I've been watching the last 6 months, let's call it, and Warren Buffett was the first, real investor I saw, buy back into the real estate market. And this is a guy that hasn't, Warren Buffett's Warren Buffett, right? So he's very conservative in everything he does, which is great. I kind of like that. I'm a conservative, investor in a sense. So the first money he put out post-COVID was into housing. He put $700 million into Lennar and D.R. Horton, which those are America's 1 and 2 largest builders. Lennar number 1, D.R. number 2. He put more money into D.R. I'm not sure about 600 million and about 150 million into Lennar. But anyway, you put about 700 million dollars into the residential housing market, which is, again, this is Wall Street going into Main Street. Then we've been watching Blackstone, which is affiliate of BlackRock, clearly that monstrosity. It's basically a country's wealth. They're worth like over $10 trillion. They're buying up residential properties like crazy, and they're buying more apartments. They did a deal earlier this year, $3.5 billion, accumulated 37,000 apartments, residential apartments. And last couple of weeks, they did another deal of $10 billion and accumulated another 27,000 apartments. And then, you're starting to see a lot of big wigs buying into real estate right now. And this is obviously, those are the extreme examples of the largest investors. But there's a lot of people that are just worth $1 billion and they're buying hundreds of million dollars of real estate right now. So obviously they have better analytics than we do. But this is obviously, as people are selling or scared because of the rates, and these guys are starting to buy, we hit the bottom. This is like buy right now. And I would suggest the same. If you're in the market, get in the market right now. Look at the rates. Again, just make sure you can afford it. Hold on to them. Accumulate real estate at this current price. Get yourself into a short loan if it's a 1, 2, or 3 year. I don't know about a variable. I've never done them before. I've never trusted them just based on what currently happened. But I mean, it's been my whole life. If you're comfortable doing that, do that. And then something you can kind of break out with no penalty, because ultimately, if you can buy the real estate right now as cheap as possible, and that goes for Florida also. Hold it and then refinance it, get a better rate, and then you got cheap real estate. And what we're thinking is that this thing's going to go past 22 levels. When we get the height of 22, we had the highest, worldwide. It wasn't just in America and Canada. There's even in Europe where prices have hit the top. And now what we're thinking is, obviously we dropped off 30% in North America. Florida, not so much, 8 to 10% on value. This held up a little bit different because it's a different economy basically right now. But like Toronto, when it dropped 30%, and then it went back up 15% over the last couple of years. We're still down about 15% from the top. But what we're thinking is exactly what CMHC is thinking, Canadian Mortgage Housing Association, is that home prices could reach peak levels by next year. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. So Canada Mortgage Housing Corp is forecasting home price could match peak levels seen in early 22 by next year and reach new high levels by 2026. I'm grilling the team back in Toronto too. Like we gotta keep buying, because even now we have one lot that we purchased here to start building. It's just like we gotta push through this construction, buy 2 or 3 more lots simultaneous, and get ready to start build that little empire, because this is a time we're gonna have to put out a lot of money right now and risk it, because again, these are the right conditions. This is what we've been waiting for. We hit the bottom, time to buy. People are still kind of scared with the interest rates, and then literally we're going to see these real estate prices just go extreme. The house that we purchased in Verdana Village, like that house there, when we bought it in July of 22, I told my wife this will be a $2 million house. And $2 million in Florida and the U.S. is big money. That's like $4 million in Canada, let's call it. So it looks like the trajectory is going to be there. We hit the bottom, start buying, and wait, and just make sure your financing situation is right. Obviously, something you can break out of, get into a lower rate, and you're going to be in a good position. But that's pretty much it, guys. Have an amazing day. If you have any questions regarding real estate, listing your homes or buying homes, give us a call. We'd be happy even to have just a little coaching session based on what you should do and what you should not do. You can reach us anytime, 647-962-4372. Thank you.